broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 265 of Gun Guy Radio. I'm your host, Jake, with co-host Zach. We talk about guns, prepping, homesteading, trucks, and so much more. Everything a gun guy is into. This episode is brought to you by Patriot Patch Company. Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. I think we're almost on a streak here, assuming you post them relatively close.
Wait, I'm supposed to post them?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I thought you were doing that.
You wouldn't want to hear how I edit. I don't. That takes an art, and I don't have that artistic ability.
So you don't wear headphones for the show, earbuds or something, right?
Yeah.
But I have headphones on, so it got me thinking. Like when you go shooting or have hearing protection for anything else, are you paranoid? Do you look for spiders in the ear cups
before you put them on? Or
yeah.
I could say when you wear them and like you get any kind of little tickle, you think it's, something crawling on you. But no, I don't typically check them to begin with. Do you?
Yeah.
Or should you?
Pretty much every time I do. Yeah. Before the show, before I mow the yard, before I go shoot, I'm looking in those ear cups it's funny because the kids have them hanging up here in the shop, and one of theirs, I found a spider in one of theirs last week. So I'm like, all these years I'm justified in checking.
So you never had a bad experience personally that created this
no,
OCD?
I'm OCD about a lot of things, so.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I didn't know, a lot of times it's caused by something happening and then, triggering, I guess.
No, I don't know. OCD is just what it is. You don't have like a cause effect thing for a lot of it. I don't think.
I actually did buy some new hearing protection last week. I bought the night vision stuff, so I have that bump helmet, and shooting with a bump helmet. If you don't have the helmet specific ear protection, it's not comfortable to put it underneath the helmet. They say you can move the pads around and make way for the band over it, but I couldn't get it to work right. So I was just shooting with ear plugs in, which was fine. But because it was mostly a suppressor, but you really want to have probably some electronic stuff just so you have some kind of situational awareness, especially when you're in the dark, right. More ideal.
Yeah.
So I was, at work, we use for the machinists, we have these 3M Peltor, like safety style ones. They're not tactical or anything, but I noticed all Peltors have the same attachment methods. They have like the two arms and they have this post that they clip onto. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I played with those and those are really comfortable. So I was like, I'm going to order some shooting versions of these. And so I didn't want to buy Comtacs, which everybody, like if you ever watch a Grand Thumb video or something like that, he's got Comtacs on. And those are like $600 to $1,000 headphones. They're really expensive.
Well, because you can communicate through those, right?
Yeah. And the ones that he does, if you never notice, like he's got 2 down leads coming off of it. And then it goes into a dual radio. So I don't know if it's for like 2 teams or I don't know what the purpose there is. It's a military thing, I guess. But if you ever look at his radio on his chest there, he's got 2 inputs on it, which is kind of neat.
See, I want those for a completely different reason. Because when you're doing like Gambler 500 stuff and cars without exhaust or doors, you can't hear your passenger. And so just for vehicle communication, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I actually saw a Bicycle Garage video when they were doing one of those where they had headsets that plugged into a thing on the dash and they could talk directly to each other.
Well, yeah, and so you can get that's like an aviation setup you can do.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's pretty affordable. You can get into some of those aviation vehicle communication setups for, I don't know, $300 or under, something around there. So
that's not bad. I
mean, because if you have a box to plug into, you can get aviation headsets just super cheap. So,
but they don't do those have like active noise canceling, or are they just passive muffs with the speaker and the boom in them?
The cheaper ones, I'm sure, don't have active noise canceling or anything. That would be an issue.
Well, I didn't go to that level. And so the next step down that I could find were the Sport Tac 500s. There's a Sport Tac 300 and a Sport Tac 100. So I got the 500s because they included Bluetooth and everything. I thought that'd be nice for the range. Yeah. And it's okay. And I bought the gel cup upgrades because the gel cups, 3M makes their own gel cups for them, where my other, like my Howard Lights, I have those, noise fighter ones in there that have the little cutout for the eyeglass arms to pass through, which is nice, but the gel cups seem to by themselves conform enough around it that I don't think I need the $40 gel cups. I was able to get them a lot cheaper. And they're okay. I tested them last weekend. They came in and I connected them to Bluetooth, and they're definitely no AirPods Pro. That's for sure. They have no bass response on them or anything, but for like podcasts and everything, it was fine. I don't know if they would be really good for music, but they seem to work. The one thing I noticed is I must have like a cone shaped head or something, because when I put them on, they felt a little tight, but if I pushed like the arm where the arm's attached to the headband and I kind of got the tip of my head, the center of my head to go up a little bit, like a peak, it was super comfortable. So I've been taking for like the last week. I've been in my garage with a quick grip, squeezing them together to try to bend them a little bit into that shape, to give them a little bit of a memory. But unfortunately, I guess this is a good thing, but they don't seem to be taking a set because they don't have a metal band. I don't believe there's a metal band going across like a normal one. So I think they're like a polymer. So I might just have to hold them and then just kiss them with the heat gun a little bit to see if I can get them to take that shape a little better, but they're good enough. I bought them because I have that class coming up at the end of next weekend. So I was like, I want to get a good set of, ones. My Howard Lights, the little cable that goes, from side to side, the sheeting is all gone on it. So you're seeing exposed wires in there. So it was like, these are starting to get a little worn out. So I'm going to bring them as backups, but I'm going to try to run with the Sport Tac 500s for a while.
Yeah. Cool.
See how it goes.
Cool. So you've been playing around with night vision?
Oh yeah. I've been, so I may have done the dumbest thing ever or the smartest thing ever. And I will know for next show. So, this whole thing is very expensive, obviously. So
no,
I can't buy everything all at once, but I have the night vision. I have the helmet. I bought a knockoff Amazon Chinesium mount for the thing. Remember, I think we talked about that last time. It was a $100 mount versus the $400 version of what that is. So I thought, okay. And then I bought a real D-ball D2, which is the IR illuminator, IR laser, green laser, combo unit. And it's big, but man, it's great. The illuminator is like, it's got a focusing ring on it, so it can go down to like a really tight beam, or if you beam it out, it's like the super clean, clear flood, almost wider than my flashlights. It's really nice. I like that. It's big and it's expensive, but so you kind of pay the penalty on just the size of it. But I don't remember. I think we talked about the Chinesium, PEC 15, the other, like a real PEC 15 is, $2,000 basically, if you can, and they're gray market because they're not technically legal to civilian sales. So I bought that Chinese version for $250, I think it was. And I got it in, and the IR laser is like a lightsaber at full power. I mean, you could literally point out stars to people with it. It just has a solid line right to infinity. The IR laser is fine. I don't ever use the IR laser. And the illuminator is good, except for, when you focus it down, it goes almost to the size of another laser pointer. And when you focus it out or flood it out, it doesn't go that wide. It just creates like maybe, I don't know, it depends on the length, obviously, but not a very big cone, where the D-ball goes to like a full 180 degree wide flood, which is really, really nice. So that is the downside to it, I've noticed, is just the flood doesn't go as bad or as wide. But I've been able to shoot them a couple times, and man, it is amazing to go out there. I went out the first time. Did we talk about the first time shooting? I don't think we did, because I think I just did that the last couple weekends.
You didn't even take it out yet.
Okay.
You got it. I think you got it like that day we recorded.
Oh, that's probably right. Okay. So I went out to my buddy Dan's place and shot at night, and I took the Mark 18 with a Rex Silentium can on it, and I put the fake pec on that one and that has an EOTech on it. And the cool thing about these IR lasers, like you say, well, it's Chinesium and how do you know if it's going to hold zero and everything? It did for the, 100 rounds I've shot so far. But the other thing is before you go out for the night, you just look at the stars through your EOTech and you just dial the laser to the point of aim on the EOTech and you're like, good. Yeah. So it's a double verification. Like it's not like an optic that goes out of whack because you're, flying blind. Then you have a other known good reference point to zero it to. So it's not that big of a deal really. So I took it out, the first weekend night and I shot, the Mark 18 with that and it was good. I was happy with that. And then I took out the PWS rifle, piston gun and that one had a YHM Turbo K can on it, which is a little small can. And I did not realize how flashy it was going to be. It was like fireballs coming out of it. I mean, it was like shooting into my night vision view. And like, so when you fired, you just saw a wall of white and then the vision came back and then it shot, so I was like, well, this ain't going to work. So I pulled my Dead Air Nomad, which is a 30 caliber can, bigger can, off my 6.5 Creedmoor gun and I pulled it over to this gun. It makes it a little longer, makes it a little heavier, but it's quieter because it's got more volume and it has those interchangeable end caps on it. So I bought a flash hider end cap for it and I bought an e-brake, which I don't really love the e-brake, I don't think, but it's basically like a perforated compensator. It goes on the end, then whatever. So the second time I went out after I did all this, I brought my camera and a tripod and I took videos of it and just to see how much it was, cause it's kind of hard to judge through the camera or through my, night vision. Yeah. And I'm happy with them. The Dead Air Nomad, it's kind of cool. You hear that. You ever heard the term first round pop? With suppressors, people talk about first round pop and I'd always heard it on like a 22 can. I never really paid any attention to it other than that, but you can definitely see it in night vision or in the camera when you shoot at night, because what happens is the first shot, you get a little bit of a flash, not bad at all, but there's definitely a flash. And then the second sequential shots, there's basically nothing. I mean, nothing. And what's happening there is the can on that first shot was full of oxygen and the bullet going through there ignited that oxygen. So it has like a flash off, but if you shoot quick enough, the oxygen can't settle back into the can in that short a period. So there's no oxygen to burn off. So it's like gone. Now, if you sit for a while and let the can fill back up and you shoot again, you'll get another first round pop, but it was a really cool phenomenon to see. I was really surprised and, I really like it. I brought a tripod with a gun holder on it so I could hold the gun in the exact same spot. Cause the camera, your phone doesn't see anything at night. It just shows a black screen. So you're hoping you're in the right frame and all that. But I did that and I brought, another cool thing. I didn't think it was going to work until I got there, but I brought my spotting scope, my Leupold spotting scope on a tripod and I set it up at 50 yards where I was sighting in at and just using a flashlight shining on the target that I was firing against, I could see it clear as day in the spotting scope. I don't know why I didn't think that was going to work. I thought it was going to be too degraded of, visibility, but no, it worked just fine. So I didn't have to walk 50 yards back and forth to check my targets, and
cool.
I can keep everything center mass at 50 yards easy enough, like A zone-ish targets. It was easy. You can't actually see, I was using paper targets. So they had the IDPA silhouette on there or, IPSC silhouette, but you can't see the print on them from 50 yards with just night vision. So I basically put the dot or the laser in the middle of the piece of paper. That's all I had for reference. So, but it worked just fine. So very happy with that. I really liked it. So to the stupidest or genius move, as I was looking at this stuff, I'm like, I'm already going broke buying all this crap that I already did, but really I have other guns that need stuff on it. And so I perused AliExpress again and I bought three or four things here. One of them is a Surefire, quote unquote, a Surefire X300 Vampire. This Vampire, if I buy it from our distributors, I think it's over $350 just for this one light. Because what's special about it is it's a Vampire, so it's got this, the head is knurled on it, and it has a button for white, a position for white, you rotate it for off, and then you rotate it for IR. Wow. So in the same light, it shoots IR light or white light. So the real deal Surefire is super expensive, but this one even if it doesn't work great, I want to set up a pistol for nighttime use, and I need a 300 on it to put it in the holster with the suppressor on it. So I figured at worst case, even if it's like a dead shell, it'll still work for what I'm trying to do. But if it works at all, it'll be great. And people that I've seen reviews on that kind of swayed me say that they are like 85% as good as a real Surefire in terms of light output, just the quality of light that it throws out. I'm like, I could deal with 85% because this thing was $70, which sounds like a lot for a piece of crap Chinesium. But the other one, $350, that's a way big difference. So it feels pretty good in the hand. It feels a little bit lighter than a real X300, but I don't know. I just got it like when I walked in the door today, so I haven't tested it, but I bought this one. And then while I was on the roll there, I bought the same thing in a Scout mount or a Scout body style Surefire. So same thing. These things are $350 plus new, real. And this is a Chinesium knockoff, but it's the same thing. It uses an 18650 battery, and it has the same, white off and IR head on it. This one comes with they all come in a mount. It has the clicky cap, but also they send you the other tail cap with the remote switch port and a remote switch, where if you bought a real Surefire, these are like $100 and some by themselves. So it's a good deal if it works at any percentage that's acceptable. And then I bought one more thing. This is a Russian Zenico Perst 4 laser. So these are huge. These were really popular before the war in Ukraine. So you could buy these directly from like Ivan Tactical. I mean, all the markings on them say they're Russian symbols. I'm going to have to just guess and check what each switch does and what the buttons do, because I don't read, obviously Russian, but they were supposedly pretty good quality. But they were full power. That's the big thing that everybody loved them for, because they were another way to get a full power laser. And you used to be able to get them before the war. Now they're really hard to get, and the prices on real ones have skyrocketed. Like, this thing is $800 if you try to get it used today. This is just a green laser and an IR laser. That's all this is. There's no illuminator or anything. So I got it on Amazon or AliExpress again for $100. And I've seen reviews. Now I haven't tried it myself, but people have said that like this one is actually either equal to or the same quality as they were buying them from Russia back in the day, or a year ago. And so they actually have pontificated, were the real ones actually just from China too, instead of being Russian, so who knows? So probably. I'm going to try it. What I'm buying for you, this is really small. It's, for anybody that's listening, it's like the size of an old pager probably, or like a deck of cards, maybe a little bit thicker than a deck of cards. But what I'm going to do with this one is, I want to set my MP5 for nighttime use. So yeah. I need a really small thing, because I tried, putting optics up on the rail on the top, and it just didn't feel right. So I took everything off and I put a handguard rail on the MP5. So but it only gives you like 2 M-LOK slots deep, so there's not much room on it. So I'm going to try this. This also just came today, so I don't know if it'll work or not, but they also give you a nice, tail cap switch. And this is cool because you can turn the power of the laser up and down on the fly, where the other ones have just a high-low switch. So that's kind of nice. So
wait, didn't you tell me before the show that you hired a Ukrainian cleaning lady? Can't she decode that for you?
What's funny? We think alike, because when I was unpackaging this in the kitchen when I got home, I actually told my wife, I wonder if I could send a picture of this to the cleaning lady and see if she tells me what they are. But I didn't know if that was racist for just assuming that Ukrainians can speak Russian or read Russian. I don't think that's true. I think they have a different language. So that's my white privilege showing through. So, yeah. Anyways, that's what I've been doing. I've been really, really pumped with the night vision stuff. It's really cool. It's really fun. The shooting was way more satisfying than I remember trying it, before. Like I used to have that PBS-7, you can't shoot easily with those. So I'm really happy. It's been a pricey adventure, but
remind me of the make and model again.
Of which one? The night vision?
Yeah.
I bought it from Goonan Gear, but they basically call those things based on their spec of the tube. So it's an Elbit XLSH tube. It's a white phosphorus in a PBS 14 tube.
Okay, and is that? I think we were talking after the show last time. You were wondering whether or not it was daylight safe.
Yeah.
I guess you still don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, they make cover. I bought a cover, so that's the other thing. So they have like a focusing ring on the end of it, so you can, focus to infinity, which is what you'd normally do. But then if you ever need to look at your hands or anything like your rifle, it's going to be out of focus because they have a very shallow depth of field, like, cameras. So you have to constantly move that ring around. So what they do is they make these, or you can put a cover on it. And what I did is I took Butler Creek caps, the little flip up caps, meant for the eyepiece of a regular scope because it's small, but you drill holes in them because they come with a rubber cap that has a pinhole in it, and that is safe to, not burn it out or whatever. But what you can do is take the Butler Creek caps, put different size holes in them. I just finished machining them. I didn't machine them. Guys at work cut holes for me because I bought one, but Butler Creek has their logo on the outside of the cap and it's raised. Well, I tried to hand drill a centered hole in that, and it just caught the little, raised edges and just went all over. So I bought one, and I tried it, and I was like, okay, the theory works. So I bought 4 more, and I brought them to work, and I had them drill different sizes in them, and I'm going to try those tonight as well. But with that, you can just put the cap back on, and then it instantly refocuses you close. Oh. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So it does work. It cuts down the light that you get available to it, obviously, because you're cutting a lot of the light off with it, but it's good enough to see your hands or see your rifle. So I've got 4 different styles of that. So I feel like between that and I just take the batteries out when I'm not using it, it'll be daylight enough safe that I feel confident.
Okay, cool.
So that's my adventures. Have you had any gun adventures or
gun adventures?
Or you just find more crappy gun or cars?
Cars. Well, we'll talk about cars some other time. Yeah. So I went shooting. Are you ready for this? 4 to 5 times in the last month.
Wow.
I have shot more ammo in the last month than I have in the last 3 years.
Wow. So do you know where this, vigor came from or what's going on?
I'm not questioning it. I'm just going with it. Starting to have a little fun again, which is cool. Started messing with ARs again, and then switching the carry gun. I guess maybe that kind of kicked me into this because I got to figure out what works for the new carry gun and everything. And sure. In past show, I talked about the 6-hour P365 XL and 9mm. I bought clearanced out Romeo optic with it, and it didn't have the mounting screws, and you found me the link where 6-hour sells those, but they were like, I don't know, like, what was it, $15 plus $10 shipping
for 2 little screws.
For 2 of the tiniest, they're almost eyeglass screw size. I mean, they're tiny.
The problem is the shape of them are not common, so you
right.
Can't just go to the grocery or the hardware store.
Right. They're not common at all. And I looked everywhere online multiple times trying to find an alternative because I just, these screws cost 6-hour less than a penny a piece. It just drives me crazy. I got to spend $25 for them. And I finally just bit the bullet, and I was on their site, and I realized if you spend enough money, you got free shipping. So I'm like, damn it, I'm going to buy something else and get free shipping.
Typical American.
And so they had these steel BB guns, 1911. They're
is that battle worn or something?
They're battle worn. They're patriotic. They say 1776 on them.
They got stars on the grips.
Yeah, they got fancy grips. They have a working safety, just like the real thing. The slide release works just like the real thing. They're made to be a trainer. They don't have the orange tip on them at all, which I thought was kind of crazy.
So you can hold up a grocery store.
Right.
Or like a liquor store.
But yeah, they manipulate and everything just like a real 1911. And then the CO2 canister goes in the magazine along with the BBs in the front of the magazine. And, so you can do mag changes. It only came with one.
Does it got like a gas nipple or something at the top of the mag? Like, how does it not leak the gas out when you?
Yeah, so it's got a gas nipple in the back of the mag.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So okay. I got to think it loses a little bit, every time you shoot it.
Sure.
But it
recoiled.
Will hold open when empty. I just fired it in the studio here. It's empty. I checked first. But yeah, it holds open last round and everything. And so it's kind of neat. It's a pain in the butt to load. Other than that, it was half price. It was like normally $150. It was $75.
To load it, is it one of those things where you have to pull the spring thing down and just push them above it? Is it BB? It's BBs, right?
Well, they actually drop. They actually drop in. You pull it and then it's BBs, not pellets. And my problem is I didn't have a BB canister with a nipple on it where you can just pour them in. Yeah. So I bought one. It should be easier to load now. It's pretty neat, though. I mean, you pick it up. If you didn't know it was a BB gun, you pick it up and you're like, oh, that's a cool 1911 until you look closer. But it is pretty cool for, I don't know.
Do you have a 1911? You don't have a 1911.
Not currently, no. I have 1911 magazines, and I should have a holster somewhere and stuff because I had one at one time. I need to get one again. And then I'll have a trainer for it. So
yeah, so I'd be curious how it fits in the holsters, right?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it's made with that in mind. Anyway, so I get the screws for the P365 and the optic. I check the battery first, get it mounted, and sight it in, and it works. It works fine.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not the most durable thing because it's mostly plastic, but. You still have the iron sights to back you up. If you need them.
It would be so easy to break. It really would. That's the only thing with it. But, hopefully I'm not having to rack off the optic or something because I lose an arm or, all the tactical stuff that can go wrong. Which we probably shouldn't make too light of. But it is what it is. I'm not super crazy about it. I think I have a little bit of a stigmatism too that makes red dots a little bit wonky. I think you talked about how you got a little bit of something like that too. And I don't know if I'm just noticing it more as I'm getting older or if it's getting worse. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else with this P365. I talked about how I upgraded to the Wilson Combat Grip and an extended mag release to help hit that mag release better. And, all that works great. So when I got the Opticon, I was like, well, now it doesn't fit my holster. So I got the Dremel out. I got the Dremel out again and Dremeled out a bunch on the holster to get the, go back in.
Remind me again what holster you're using.
Just some cheap thing off Amazon.
Okay, I was saying because most holsters these days, they know that there's a factory optic, so they make a room for it.
Yeah, I know. I had a Dremel out because it was like back here.
Oh wow! So you had to do almost the whole hood width.
Yeah,
hood length.
I mean, it still has the sweat guard and everything.
That's pretty clean cut for a Dremel.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear this. I might show you some more stuff on it. One thing that I didn't think of going to a red dot is how linty your optic gets. Super fast. Like in a couple days, it's just covered with lint. So I'm kind of thinking now, do I want to carry an optic? I don't really see the advantage to it.
I think you're making the point for closed emitters though. Like the closed emitter optics, you don't have that problem with. Or if you do, you just wipe it with your thumb real quick. It doesn't get caught in crevices like the open emitters.
So my other issue now with it is when I take it out and shoot with it, I can't keep a consistent grip through a string of fire. My offhand thumb, I kind of don't have a good spot for it.
Is it because it's so thin?
My hands are really big, and my offhand thumb wants to go almost to the end of the dust cover or whatever. And
that's not ideal.
And I can't keep it firmly there. It wants to. It's not because it's got that cutout for the light or whatnot and stuff. Maybe it's me. I just need to.
Don't they make the Streamlight TLR 7s or something for those? So maybe if you put a light on it.
Just put a light on it. That's not that could be an idea.
They make those small subcompact lights now.
Because it's my thumb just wants to fly off it. I can't.
And you have to have your thumb straight like that. You can't bend it.
Bend it like that.
Well, Well, yeah, not ideally there, because it looks like it's going to go right in the trigger guard, I guess.
Right. There's just not a lot of real estate there because my hands are so big. My other thumb is kind of extends halfway, past the trigger guard. Just got
to get good at one-handed shooting.
Well, I didn't have the issue with the XDS because, that was in 45, and I don't know if that made a difference, but
Wasn't that like a 4-inch barrel or something, though?
That was a single stack, and yeah, it was a 4.4.
Yeah, I thought you had a longer barrel one, so that would give you more room probably there.
Well, and I think the magwell, I think all this area is wider here, and so I have more real estate here.
Yeah, so the back strap front to back, you're saying the XDS was thicker or deeper?
I feel like it was. So I'm like, do I step up to a little bit bigger pistol? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll take it out and shoot it some more and see if I can find a comfortable place, but I've never had this issue with the gun before. I can usually, pick something up, and the first times out shooting it, I didn't realize it, but as you train more, you try to refine what you're doing, and I realized my grip was just not consistent. I kept having to re-grip it through a string of fire, and that's just not right.
That's not good, yeah. Is that the smallest gun you've had as a carry gun?
Yeah,
That could be part of it.
So I'm thinking, we got colder weather coming in here. I think I might actually carry the Glock 17 through this winter.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be one of those guys, huh? And then you'll tell everybody on social media that you can carry a full-size.
I know. I can be really cool in high-speed, low drag. So I think I might do that for just because it's got a red dot on it too, and so I can keep practicing shooting red dot on pistol and see if
you have a hollow sun on that one, right?
Yeah, I got a hollow sun on that, and I thought about.
Do you have tall irons on it?
That's the problem with that. I have to get tall irons for that because the hollow sun doesn't have, it
doesn't have the channel in the back like the smaller ones do.
Right.
The co-witness thing.
So I need to get that problem solved. Oh, yeah. So into the other holster thing. So the holster for that, I guess I don't have it. I don't have it here. I just ordered another one off Amazon.
See, I don't feel so bad about these Alibaba Express.
Oh, come on.
You're buying Chinese.
Come on. Amazon is such a step above AliExpress.
No, just because they have all their rules and regulations. You can buy Alibaba is or AliExpress is the Wild West, man.
Well, AliExpress, I tell you what, I think most of those companies are on Amazon now because Amazon opened it up to China, and there's so many Chinese companies on there now. Anyways, I got this.
You're holding one of them right there.
I got this. I had no idea it was made in China. I thought it was going to be American Kydex because this one's American Kydex, the one I got for the P365. American Kydex molded here in America. And then I get this. At first I'm like, this doesn't feel like Kydex. What's going on here? And then I look at this bag and. Well, the brand is Gritter, GRITR, and it says "Design in the USA, made in China."
Sure. It's probably like when they did a big push for like recycling, like Walmart bags, like the plastic shopping bags. It's probably this when those just melted down and compressed into something.
Yeah, well, I'm green then, so I guess I can't feel too bad. But I'm kind of torn here. I'm like, do I just carry it and figure, what's the worst that can happen? Or do I do a stress test on it and purposely break it? And then if it passes my standards, order another one.
It's inside the wingspan or outside?
It's inside, just like this.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
I carry. This is.
the worst that's going to happen is it's going to just break the clip off, but the gun will stay in your pants, right? So.
Well, yeah. I mean,
if it broke, how's the rest of it? How's the body of it going to break? I could see the clip breaking off at the point of.
Well, remember, I had that XDS holster that was genuine Kydex that the body of it did break right here by the.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
The screw. Right. And really, looking at this one, it's kind of close. But this is for the 365. The one for the Glock's in the safe. But
don't you make aftermarket clips that could make that better?
Well, yeah, I'm not worried about the clip because I can just replace that. But like the whole thing, it's not Kydex. It's like, so I'm like, is it? The beautiful thing about Kydex is that it's got some give to it, some bend to it. It's not like ABS plastic. And so if that's ABS plastic, especially if it gets cold, it'll be real brittle. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
I mean, how much you got in that holster? I forgot the link here. You got, it's loading, $26.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really worry about it. I would just run it and see what happens.
That's what I might do.
It does say made of Kydex. I mean, that's what it's claiming.
Oh, it does say that. Well, it can't be. It can't be. Kydex is only made in America.
This says the Gritter IWB holster is made of strong 08, 80 thou thick Kydex material.
No, Kydex is trademarked and patented. It's only made in the USA. As far as I understand, I think they're just writing in their product description that it's Kydex, so it ranks well on Amazon. I was talking to Jenny about this. I'm like, I haven't looked at the product page since then. I was like, I really swear it said it was Kydex, but this can't be Kydex because it's directly from China.
Yeah, I mean, it does say, I don't know, could it be a Kydex equivalent, but they just call it Kydex, but, I don't know.
Well,
you already got it now.
Yeah.
Well, when's the return window end? I would just run it up until the return window, and then if you want, you can make a call then.
And maybe the patent is, although Kydex is like a copyrighted trademark name, but maybe they can make the same type of material now because that patent is up.
Well, China don't care.
Plus, China doesn't care, right? So,
yeah.
What'd you say?
The return window, just like if you got, 30 days? It says eligible for return and refund within 30 days.
Oh, I could just stress test it, break it, and return it. You're right.
Well, I mean, you could tell within 30 days if you start carrying it now if you're going to keep it or not. I mean, it's only $26, but still $26.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so that's kind of my carry drama. I thought I was kind of solving everything, and then I'm kind of back to square one here.
I mean, that SIG's got to be a pretty good, pocket gun too, like a coat gun if you need to. But I guess your problem is if not that carrying it, it's shooting it. Can you shoot it okay one-handed? Because if it's just your support hand issues, I mean, is one-handed fine?
I don't know. Is that cooler? I don't know. Is that what the cool kids are doing?
Well, you should know how to shoot one-handed as well.
I shoot one-handed all the time. I don't know if you remember when we shot. I would shoot one-handed, offhand, and strong hand every time we went out. And
did it work okay?
And I still do it a lot. Yeah, no, I do it pretty well. So anyway, so I also did some shooting range upgrades, put some steel plates out there, which I've been talking about for the last 3 years. And I finally bit the bullet, ordered some plates, got some scaled down torso plates, which are like the inside, of like an IPSC target. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a zone, right? Or is it? No, it would be a B or C actually. If it all the way out there. And are they nice? It looks like they look like pea green. They're
really nice, and that's a great color too. And then I got a 12-inch gong, an 18-inch gong. So the 18-inch, I've got 300-ish yards. I went to do this. I've got a Bushnell rangefinder. It goes out to 800 yards. Only had this a couple of years. It's been in my drawer for the most part. I would go to use it and it's dead. I'm like, okay, I'll just switch the battery. And so I take the battery out and it's this weird CR2.
Oh yeah.
Just
I
have
I have a couple of those in my desk drawer at work. Yeah. They look like a CR123A, but they're not. They're a different size.
Yeah. They're a weird battery. So yeah, I have to get one of those. And then
come to think about it, I think I bought them for a rangefinder too.
Yeah,
now that I think about it.
I also got some target stands that I can put cardboard, IPSC, IDPA style targets in. And I got a box of 100 of those from Action.
But you don't have the stands that you used to make?
Action Target. No, I never kept any. Yeah, I used to make stands for this too, and for whatever reason, I never kept any. And these stands are pretty cheap on Amazon. They're made in China, of course, but you can get a 2-pack pretty reasonable. And they're pretty cool because they've got little, steel, finger things that you slide your wood sticks down into and they kind of hold them in place for you.
So accommodate different sizes of wood or?
No, just the one size, but it won't just pull right out. It kind of puts a little bit of tension on it, to keep your, wood uprights in, and then you can clamp your, and it comes with 4 clamps, it's like big giant paper
binder
clips.
So how much you spent on targets and cardboard and stands? You could have had night vision. I'm looking at all these links. I'm like, they're not getting cheaper.
No.
Why are cardboard targets $100? They're over $1 a piece. How can a piece of cardboard cost that much?
Well, they're about $1 a piece. There's 100.
I know. Well, no, there's 75. It says 75 pack for 104. That's the link that you put in there. So that's over $1 a piece.
Yeah. I suppose.
So that's the target that I was shooting at in night vision, except for mine was a piece of paper and it was full rectangle, so it didn't have the cutout. So I when I was trying to make a headshot, I was just bracketing towards the top of the paper. But if I would have had these fancy dancy targets, I could have bracketed off the line of the shoulder there and got a headshot cleanly.
Well, and I kind of had the same issue with these where you can't see like anything to aim at. So I need to order some like target dots to put on these, because I'm also using these to sight in guns and stuff. And so you get out there and you're like, well, where do I shoot? And I had the bright idea. I'm like, I'll just shoot one hole and that'll be my bullseye. So I go up to the target with the pistol and go, blam, and it blows out the whole middle of the target.
I'm like, hindsight right there.
I'm like, oh yeah. The whole concussion factor of the thing and the blasty.
You blew its lung right out of it with 9mm.
I did. I blew the lungs out. So yeah, I mean, I've been sighting in rifles. I built this 1022 build.
You act like you have more than one rifle. What are you talking about?
Who had this on sale? Primary Arms had this for Cortson 1022 barrel on sale. Heavy barrel. It was half price. I see it's probably discontinued now.
So yeah, it's like a 920 profile, just full stubby. No threading, right? On the end there, I can't tell.
Yeah, no threading. Super heavy. And then they had these Magpul Hunter stocks for the 1022 half off as well. I'm like, how can I not build a cool heavy barreled 1022?
Yeah, because that's not discontinued, so that's good that it was on sale.
Yeah, that's not at all. And so it's interesting. I don't know if you've seen these Hunter stocks from Magpul, because they make them for other stuff too.
I had one for Ruger American at one time.
And so they have this, I'm going to use the wrong term, but they have this plastic piece that clips in under where the barrel goes.
Yeah, it's like a tray almost.
It's a tray. So you unscrew that, you pop that tray out, and if you have a heavy barrel, you can flip it around for it to accommodate that heavy barrel. And then it's got like a shim provision too for either barrel if you need to shim it rather than free float it.
Yeah, it gives you like a little touch point there at the end of the barrel.
And so this barrel's so thick though that, I can just go like that and barely flex it and it creates a touch point. So if I'm shooting off a rest or something, I think it's going to be touching here and there.
So you might as well use the shim point then and make it just fixed already.
Right. I'm going to have to take it back apart and put that shim point in it. Now I sighted it in. I got this Vortex Crossfire 2 3x9 scope on it, and I sighted it in and everything. And it really doesn't have great groupings, but I was using just the cheapest of cheap 22 ammo as well. So I don't know if that's part of it. And also I need to shim the barrel because inconsistency, because it's like clicking together there.
The other big thing on 1022s, which is the action screw there where you tighten the action down to the stock, that is very susceptible to different torques. So like I always use a torque wrench on that to make it the same every time. But it should be like 10, it's under 20 inch-pounds. So do not reef on that. That'll make it worse.
I forget how I tighten that, but I'll need to get a different, cause I was gonna do the whole like professional, inch pounds thing. And I realized my, what I have doesn't go that low. So I need to order a little guy that I can go that low with.
Yeah. Like a little Wheeler fat wrench or something like that is perfect for those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
They're great.
I don't know. I built this because I thought it was going to be cool, and now it's so dang heavy. It's just a bench gun, you know. You start
to sound like me. I did all this, and then now I don't like it anymore. But that's a cool gun. Like that's any of your kids, if you put that on a bipod and just set it up, they would have no recoil. It would stay where they're pointing it. Like that should be all right.
Yeah. No, it'll be good.
It's not good for offhand shooting or anything, probably.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh yeah, and then I think I mentioned last time that I ordered some red anodized stuff.
Yes, you did. You did for sure.
I mean, it's tasteful, right? I mean, I could have done more.
You're almost 40, right?
I did an ambidextrous, safety, and then I did
good. I mean,
an ambi mag release, and then the what do you call it? The
trigger guard
thingy on the bottom.
Winter trigger guard style.
Yeah.
Is that metal? I mean, it's metal then, right?
Yeah.
It's anodized.
Yeah. That's metal. These two are the same. These two are the same, and the mag release is like a cheaper thing because I couldn't get.
That's a bolt release, yeah. So it's like a bad. He's looking like a bad lever.
The bolt release, yeah. Sorry,
it's some other. It's a different brand, so it's kind of like that. It's got like lattice work on it, and then. Sorry, is this done? Then are you done with what you want to do with it, or?
I don't know. Then I did get a different buttstock. I got this Thrill or A-Thrill or CCS.
Is that an Amazon brand?
No, it's on Primary Arms. So I guess the one issue I had with this was that I went to, it's ran perfect ever since what I have going on. I switched out the firing pin.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ran perfect, no issues. I've put a lot of rounds through it at this point. I went to sight it in at 50 yards, and the front sight doesn't go low enough for me to sight it in at 50 yards.
Interesting.
Is that weird?
So it's bottoming out when you try to...
Yeah, bottoms out. So I figure I didn't try to sight it in at a different yardage. I think it would probably sight in at 75, 100 for sure, but it's just...
That kind of defeats the purpose. I think what you could do, what I would do is I would pull the sight post out of the sight body and then use a file or a Dremel to cut the bottom of it off and then rethread it in there so it could go deeper.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. You could also just do it right to the tip of the sight post too, but then you have to re-blue it or throw some Sharpie marker on it or something.
Yeah, I'll say about cutting off the bottom. I almost ordered different ones, but then I was like, no, I don't want to because I'm going to end up putting, an okay optic on this, and these will just be true backups thing because it'll just be folded down all the time. And then really for how I have it sighted in, it's probably fine for that anyways. So I think it's kind of good to go until I figure out what I'm doing for an optic on it.
Do they make any red optics you can put on there?
Oh, that would be cool. Why don't people make colored optics?
I think you just need a big spray can, just spray paint it.
Wow, no, I am going to spray paint some rifles. I just haven't got around to it.
Me too, but I want to buy a cheap PSA upper. Oh, that is a good looking gun right there. Now we're talking.
Isn't that a good looking gun now?
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
This looks like it came out of a Rambo movie.
Yeah, I mean it's getting there. I'm ordering a green sling for it.
Yeah, you got duct tape on it?
Yeah, I got the duct tape on it, holding the sling up to the top position in the E2. So this was the AR remember that build, I had to steal the whole buttstock off of it and tube and everything. And the optic was taken off of this for some reason. I don't know why. And so I got looking around and stuff. This originally was an M&P 15 Sport. So it's got kind of this retro handguard on it anyways.
I like those handguards. So, it's just a regular A2 style, round. It's carbine length gas there, it looks like.
So I'm like, well, the front of this kind of looks retro, so why not just go all retro? And so I got this Brownells A2 buttstock with a buffer and everything, and then
why did you have to use duct tape? Is there not a mount for the sling on the back?
Well, on the bottom, I wanted the sling to be like it's mounted on top of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I've got the NC Star carry handle here, good quality stuff.
I don't understand why carry handles are so dang expensive.
Isn't it crazy? They're like $200 for some of those. I'm like, why?
I know like the Rock River National Match ones, they do like a finer thread pitch on the adjustments, so you get like real precise rear sight movement. I get all that, but like just a regular one is almost $100. I'm like, this is not worth $100. You could put $100 red dot on there and be actually ahead.
Right. I don't know. I think it's kind of getting to the retro kind of feel look. I really like shooting it. It's so good to shoot. So
it's
good.
Light. You can't, it's not M-Lock or anything on there, so you can't hang a bunch of crap off of it easily.
Right. It's really great to shoot. And I did order, I want to do kind of like I might watch too much Grantham. They did some retro rifle stuff.
No such thing.
And, one of the cool things I think with these was that retro, front where,
the gooseneck mount on there.
The gooseneck mount off of the carry handle. And I found a GI used one on eBay that I ordered. The problem is it doesn't interface with NC Star carry handle the right way.
Did they not put a hole in the center of the carry handle?
Well, no, you can put it on here. It just like, it can't sit up or down weird. There's some geometry here that doesn't work. So I'm going to have to actually do a different. Well, here's what I want to do. I want to ditch this flat top upper, and I want to get, they're out of stock. I hope Brownells brings them back, but I want to get their slick side carry handle uppers. And,
Gunbroker has them. That's where I got my last one.
Well, I looked there and they didn't have any when I looked. So, I don't know.
They're tough to search for too, because when you say like A2 carry handle in a search term, you get what you're looking at right there a lot of times. And it was easier. Actually, I didn't buy an A2. I bought an A1. So it was a little bit easier to search for A1 because there's no.
Well, I think it's an A1 I'm looking for anyways. An
A1 just doesn't have the elevation adjuster on it. It just has windage. So it's a little bit simpler. I like it. That's a good looking gun right there. I'm actually looking to build one just like it, actually. Because I have a couple spare lowers, and I think I want to do either a 20 and a 16-inch.
I never would have dreamed it'd be so good to shoot. I mean, it's just great.
I don't do as well with the iron sights. I feel like it just takes up so much of your view that I can't really get precise aiming points on it, but it's worth it.
I shot out to 300 with it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
Nice.
I mean, I did with the 1022 as well with the crappy ammo, but you really had to shoot for the sky with that and get them to drop. You had to walk it in, and even then it wasn't consistent because it was kind of breezy and everything that day. So,
well, the irony of that carry handle, like you're talking about that mount, there's people that are now they make not that gooseneck cantilever style mount that you're talking about, but they make one that just goes right in that hole. So it puts those, like you can put like an aim point right on the carry handle.
Right.
And that puts I can't remember the height of that one, but it's right in there at that optic height that everybody's using now, and like the 2.26 inch high optic mounts, so it's funny, it's like retro is new again.
Yeah, I really like the retro stuff. I think I want to do another build too, and that's why I want to get a 1911 too. Have the whole thing,
Just and then you buy a Corvette and some New Balance and some Wranglers.
No. Corvette, either Camaro or Firebird. An 85 Camaro or Firebird is where it's at.
All right. Well, you need to find one that doesn't have any rust around you.
Good luck with that. Well, I test drove one a year or two ago, but it was just such a pile. They wanted I don't know, it was from a dealer and you wanted like $5,000 or $6,000 for it. And
an 80s style one?
Yeah, it was like an 80 something Camaro. It was originally a V6 Camaro, but someone put a 350 or 305 in it. I have no idea what, but it was a dog, and the transmission was messed up in it, and it was just awful. And some lady or teenager must have driven it, because the rims on that thing were just chewed to pieces.
That is sexist. How dare you assume that a woman made curbed wheels? Well, those things probably didn't have a great visibility. Those back windows were like flat, basically.
Yeah. No, they're cool though. I would totally drive one of those. I mean, if I find one for, I don't know.
You know, ironically, a guy at work, older guy, he has a beautiful Firebird. Or no, it must be Trans Am 'cause it's got the chicken on the hood. But it's an 80s style one, black with the gold and everything. It's immaculately restored and everything, but it's definitely of a time kind of car.
Yeah. So what else did I have going on?
The only thing you're missing on that that gun is a light. You can get those mounts that like bolt into the A2 front sight post and put a little pick rail for you to put a flashlight on it. Every rifle needs a light.
Not a bad idea. Put a big old. I've got a big old mag light I could put out for the real.
That's for the retro.
Retro alert.
They actually make them that, those holes that are on the vents on the top of your handguards there.
Yeah.
They make actual flashlight mounts that bolt in there and then they come off to the side and go forward.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I bought this Caldwell lead sled a while back, and I think, far as I can tell, it's Caldwell's like top tier shooting rest, I think. Mm-hmm. And so it's got, adjustability for windage and elevation right in it and everything. And it's got like this big tray you can put sandbags on, and it's got a telescoping a front mount.
Like a holder thing?
Holder, I don't know what you call it. And you can strap your gun down if you need to, and all these features and benefits and everything. And I tell you what, this thing was a giant pain in the ass to assemble.
Have you used it yet?
And I used it, and it's okay, but it's not like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, so the old owner of Lone Wolf, JR, he used to have me sighted in his hunting rifles for him. And he had a lead sled like that. And I felt like it was still just too wobbly inside. Like none of the joints were like, this was an older one, so it might have been worn out at the time. But it seemed like all the joints were had enough lash in all the threads of every adjuster that it just felt, it didn't have like the real locking it down steadiness to it. So I ended up just using a bag or a bipod and then a sandbag in the back. And I feel like I was way more stable with that, but it's intended for like high caliber rifles where you don't want to feel the recoil trying to set it in, every time. And that does that.
I don't really feel like mine's all filled with play like that. The whole top strap thing is really made for like a tall, bulky hunting rifle or something, because the 1022 is too shallow, even with that bull barrel and big. It's got a hunter stock on it, but it wasn't tall enough for that strap to strap it down. So that was one thing I didn't like. My biggest issue with it is that I'm using a crappy plastic table out there trying to do it on that. And so that makes it just terrible. So I have a plan to build. I have some concrete pads back there from old buildings that were torn down. So I want to build a wood shooting bench so I have a rock solid platform that's always there. So I can just go out there, throw the lead sled down or throw bags down and do that. Cause the plastic table is my biggest pain in the butt this last time.
That makes sense. The one thing I guess I remember, the other thing I didn't like about it is the little pocket that holds the buttstock by your shoulder.
Yeah.
It felt like it was too thick. So like it didn't feel natural holding the rifle on the lead sled. Like it felt like it took too much space up between my shoulder and the gun. Yeah. So it just like your eye relief was all a little off and everything. It just didn't feel natural to me. Well, but I guess you have to have it to catch the recoil.
Yeah, I did. This one is under 2 inches, I think, that space. It's just looking at it, I'd say it's about 1.5 inches it adds. But I did feel like I had to kind of sit weird to get my eye relief what it should be on the rifle without the lead sled in between me. So yeah, I can really see that being an issue too.
So you had a lot of stuff going on this time.
Yeah, actually, into guns and I don't know.
Just in time for it to snow on you?
Just in time for it to... I'd love to build like a little shooting shack back there that year round I could just go back there and have something covered. I don't know. I have so many projects, so that's way down the road.
I'm surprised you have not bought like an old U-Haul truck yet and just used the back storage as a shooting range.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I could keep... Well, that's what I've been thinking is that, I got these big box of cardboard targets now and these stands, and like I got all this crap I got no place to put now, this lead sled, and I really need my own like little shed or something. Yeah, that's not bad. A U-Haul truck. I
combines
could just,
both your loves, crappy old vehicles that people beat on all day, and
that might be the greatest idea ever. You could put your gun safes in it. You could have everything in it. Your mobile tactical response.
Just in time for somebody to steal it. Make it convenient for somebody to come steal it too.
Yeah. Perfect. But you can have it insured, right?
Yeah. Do you not have a Connex box in your property? It seems like you have multiples.
No.
Some buried, some.
Yeah. I thought about doing a Connex shed, doing the sides and then a roof, and
yeah.
I don't know. Jenny doesn't quite go for that, but if I could bury some or hide them.
So what you need to do is bury most of it. So you just have like 3 feet tall hanging up exposed. That way you can have a window to shoot out of. Yeah. And then most of it's down underground. Or just mound up dirt up to it.
I could really actually do that because where the range is a big, because we kind of shoot into this valley creek. And so where we shoot kind of, pitches down and then pitches back up a little bit on the other end. But so it gives a big natural berm on the side you're shooting towards too, which is nice.
So you're getting a 300-yard range with the plate on your property?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that's a long ways.
So I can do about 0 to 50 on mine, shooting in this direction, and then 50 on is in the neighbor's pasture, which I got permission from.
Nice. I still remember the time we shot long range. That's the first time we ever shot long range, was at your parents' house, and we put that cardboard box in the farmer's field after he had harvested for the year. I think it was 400 yards. I felt like a king of the world being able to shoot that thing 400 yards. I was amazed that we could do that.
Yeah.
Now it's like old hat. It's easy now. It's like, geez, only 400 yards, but at the time that was really impressive.
Yeah. Well, and if I shoot a different angle out here, I can probably get out to 5 or so, 6 even. I don't know.
What about from the roof of your house down to somewhere?
Well, anything. You have a
2-story house, don't you? You can shoot out like an upstairs window.
We have a balcony off our bedroom, so I can just,
Oh, there you go.
I can pee off of that and shoot off of that. And neighbor
see the feds come in.
Yeah. Jump out there when I hear my claymores popping off.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Patriot Patch Company makes this episode possible. Check out Patriot Patch Go for the patch of the month. Unique patch, sticker, artwork cards sent to your mailbox every month. Also have some cool signs for your man cave or reloading bench. We have 2 new Statue of Liberty signs. One has a Thomas Jefferson quote on it. Another one has a Benjamin Franklin quote on it. And the Lady Liberties are locked and loaded. Very cool signs. Check those out. Cleaning mats, gun counter mats, mouse pad mats, whatever you designate them as, for the AR-15, for the AK, for the 1911. We have the 4 rules of gun safety as a mat now. Also have a brand new 4 rules of gun safety infographic sign, which is cool too. Check it out, patriotpatch.co. And if you need website design, graphic design, check out Ryan Cross over at Hunter of Design. And you can reach us at gunguyradio@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows here on the Firearms Radio Network. That's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks. See you next time.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.